Hey everyone, Player Sam. Welcome to part 3 of our Alpha Models 124 BMW G80 M3 video build. So we're back today, part 3, the final part of this video build. We're going to get all the components together, get all the windows in, get all the wheels on, get all nicely polished up, and get some nice video and pictures at the end of the build as well. Okay, so we're back with part 3, the finishing touches of our Alpha Models G80 M3. So we're going to start off where we left off last time, and we're going to take back our 2K. Now this has been drying now for about 10 days, so well and truly cured. It takes about 5 days really in total to actually cure, but obviously with all the other work I have on the go, it takes a bit longer. So we're going to take it back with Trizac from 3M, sanding pads. We're going to start with 3000, then 6000 and 8000. Then we'll follow up with the alternate modelling polish system of the compound and the polish. And as a final step, once we're all together, we use the alternate modelling products detail spray shine to give it a nice shine up. So all we're doing is lightly going over the 2K. We're flattening it back to remove any imperfections, any hairs that might be in there, any dust spots, anything at all, whilst also thinning out the 2K while we're at it. So we're literally just taking a very fine layer off. We're not applying any real pressure, we're just letting the sanding pads do the job. They are very, very efficient sanding pads, so you don't need to go crazy, but you do need to be aware of any raised areas, recesses, any areas that stick up, any corners where the paint will be inherently thinner, and don't go crazy. It's so easy to burn through, especially with these sanding pads. They are quite efficient, so they burn through a lot quicker than micromesh. But it's a case of going through the 3, 6 and 8000 all over the body until you get a nice even finish all over. And then we've got a nice clean cloth and some alternate modeling polish compound, and we're going to bring this back to a high shine. So the compound is an aggressive, more aggressive polish. It's got a lot more cutting capability to it. So it's great for getting rid of those first stage sander marks from the Trizac pads, and that way we can get more of a shine back from the dulled finish, and then by finishing it with the polish, which is a less aggressive polishing compound, we can get a high shine mirror finish off it. So it's a case of carefully going all around the model. Again, same with the 3M pads. Be aware of any edges, any corners, any raised areas where the paint will always be thinner, because again, the polishing compounds will burn through the paint if you're not careful. So it's a case of just going around very carefully and polishing it all up to remove all the micro abrasions left behind from the 3M pads. Nice and simple really. Takes a bit of time, and once you've done one section, get a clean cloth and buff it off. Now you may find some of your panel lines will hold some polish or compound. Easiest way to get the right is with a toothbrush, and then any remnants you can blast out with your airbrush with some fresh water in. I'll show me doing that a little bit later on, but just now, just with the compound alone, we've got a really nice shine back off the 2K, and the 2K is looking nice and thin, not too thick as well, which is always the trick, and the Pro Scale 2K works absolutely wonderful. It really, really does. So like I say, just with the compound alone, we've got a nice shine back, and then we can come in with the polish, which is a lot thinner than the compound, and just give everywhere a nice polish up. Obviously, you can repeat all these steps. If you think it needs sanding more, you can repeat with the appropriate grade sander. You can repeat with the compound or the polish. It's all up to you how far you go. But our new Pro Scale 2K, it looks fantastic. Once it's cured, give it 5 days or so, it polishes back absolutely beautiful. Gives a real nice high shine. Really nice and quick and easy to cut through. Like I say, it's not as thick as some of the 2Ks out there, so I think it gives a much more realistic finish without having to go too mad on the sanding and polishing. But like I say, if you're not happy, you can always repeat it and go over again. Same with the sides. Just be very careful of all the raised areas, any little recesses, because it is so easy to burn through. These are abrasive compounds and polishes, so their job is to abrade the clear, and it's so easy to burn through. So just take your time, be careful. You don't need a lot of pressure, and obviously switch to clean cloths when buffing it off, but you will see the difference right before your eyes, and it's nice to see all your hard work come to fruition here and everything appear nice and shiny in front of you. Now, like I said when it was live the other day, the only downside I can see to our new Pro Scale 2K is the fact that it is thinner than a lot of others out there. So it doesn't fill the panel lines anywhere near as bad as some of the other 2K clears do. So the downside of that is you get a bit more polish and compound trapped in there. So the easiest way to deal with that is once you're done, clean your airbrush out, get some fresh water in there, make sure you give it a good clean out. Put in the other bottles of lacquer thinner or airbrush cleaner out the way so you didn't accidentally pick them up. Load your airbrush up, put your pressure to about 20 odd, 25 psi, and just go around and jet wash all the seam lines and panel gaps to remove any remnants of old compound or polish in there. Once you're done, you can cut your wear and just dry it off as you go. Take it back to your bench, give it a good dry off with some kitchen paper, as you can see, and then with another clean cloth, give it a nice final buff up. And you can see there how well that 2K has come up. It looks absolutely beautiful. The Snapper Rocks Blue, Pro Scale Snapper Rocks Blue, is looking fantastic as well. Like I say, any small remnants, you can use a toothbrush to get those out as well. We need to paint the headline in and the ABC pillars inside the car, and you could mask it. I have done it before. It takes a long time to mask, and for me, the easiest way to do it is get some Vallejo model colour black, thin it with a drop or two of water, a nice flat brush from Tamiya, and just brush paint it. It's not a highly visible area, but I always do it anyway. It's a case of just going round and brush painting it. It's quite cathartic to do. It's quite nice to get back to your kind of roots, because we all started off brush painted, or most of us would have anyway. And it is nice from time to time to pick a paintbrush up and just paint some brush paints on. And the Vallejo model colour paints are really nice. They're highly pigmented. With a drop of water, they paint really nice. So we've done all the roof lining, all the ABC pillars, just below the door cards where it'll go, and we're going to do the wheel arches as well. So the wheel arches, on most of these resin kits, there is a demarcation ridge where you can leave it painted, and I just run the brush right round to that, and just, as you'll watch, just feed it down nice and slow. So we've got it covered. And if you do get any excess on there, the beauty of water-based paint is it wipes straight off the 2K. No problem at all. Any excess paint, just moisten a cotton bud and it'll wipe the paint straight off. It works really well. And it's a quick and easy way of painting. Again, you could mask it and paint it. For me, on areas like this that you will never really see, I don't see the point in doing that. The brush paint is more than sufficient. It will do the job perfectly. With that nice and dry now, we can test fit our interior. So as usual, the rear seat and partial shelf goes in first. Tends to be the part of the course on these. So got nice positive fitment points there, so we can glue it to there later on. I'm going to pop some glue in there. So you can see, we just pop it behind where the wheel arches are. A little bit at the back. We're going to put some super glue kicker in its lid. Grab a micro brush. Dip it in. And just touch it to the CA glue, let the capillary action carry it, and it will dry our CA glue instantly. Dashboard fits into this handy little keyhole at the front. Weirdly, there's a drill hole. There's a pre-drilled small hole in the bonnet, or the hood, and there's a hole in this. There's no way I would drill that. There's not enough resin in the bonnet to drill that. So for me, it's CA glue. And I found the easiest way was to put the dashboard in its place, get the door card, and lift the door card up and get the dashboard in. You'll see me do it on this one now. So get it the right way orientated, slide it in the back as far as it will go, and then gently lift up the dashboard, and there you go. It fits in place perfect, like so. And there we go. We can pop some glue on the front of the dash and on each door card, and that will hold it in. We've already had a test fit. We did that in part 2, so we know everything fits. I've just got some of my generic CA glue from Amazon. This is in my store, linked in the description down below. A couple of drips and drabs on each side. And on the front of the dashboard as well. And again, we'll hit it with some kicker to get it glued in place. Nice and easy. So always pay attention to instructions, because there are a specific way these go. Now, it didn't get me getting the floor panning. I missed that bit of footage, but you saw me do it in the last video. It literally has the seat already glued in place with the center console. I just fed it in. The interior tub we pre-drilled last time as well, so that was just screwed in place with the small screws supplied. And we're just popping all the trims in. So we've got the high gloss grille in, and side vents. Rear lights are glued in place with some Bob Smith's odorless non-gassing CA glue. Just pop them in place and hold them for a few seconds. They fit absolutely perfect. I like to use the Bob Smiths on the exterior because it doesn't fog. I find sometimes with other super glues, when you put parts like this on, you can get like a haze of fog coming out of the part where the super glue's gassed off. So the Bob Smiths doesn't do that. We've got our rear lights that we painted in part 2. These are well and truly dried. We've got a black Sharpie. I'm going to go around all the exterior edge of the resin, and this will give the indication of the seal used on the rear lights and just adds a little bit of depth to the model. Definitely adds to the look, makes it look a bit less toy-like. It's a nice simple trick a lot of car modelers use. And just go all around it, be careful, just get it on the top edge. And then with some strategic placing of a small couple of dabs of Bob Smiths. If you're not confident using the nozzles, put them on a lid and use a cocktail stick, just put a couple of dabs in. For me, I love these nozzles, they are brilliant. It's a case of get the right light on the right side, line it up, push it in place and hold it for a few seconds, let the glue grab it. Like so. Repeat that for the other side as well. And the fit is really good on these. They actually fitted straight in. And then the front lights we detailed up in part 2. Again, a couple of dabs of Bob Smiths in there to hold it in place. Just going to push it down with the end of a cotton bud. There we go. Same on the other side. Slide it in. Push it home. Hold it for a second or two. And exactly the same as you did with the rear lights. Grab our Sharpie and just do the outline of the glass. You'd be surprised how much depth this adds to a model. It just adds that little bit of something that catches your eye. Just adds a little bit more interest. A simple trick. It takes a minute or two to do. It's kind of the equivalent of adding a wash to other parts. Just adds depth to the part and looks good for minimal outlay. Again, with the lights, very, very strategic point of super glue on each outer edge. And then make sure you got the correct headlight the correct way round. We can get this glued in place. Yep, helps if you put it the right way around. See? Do as I say, not as I do. There we go. That's on the right way now. Just wipe off any excess there. For the wheels, we've test fitted these already. We did that in the last part. So we're going to apply a liberal amount of our bog standard CA glue from Amazon. Get the correct wheel and hub assembly. So all the discs face inwards. And it should be the fattest point at the bottom is the way I look at these. It's a case of glue it, hold it for a second or two. Make sure the wheel is straight on all its axes. Make sure it is exactly where you want it. You get a few seconds to adjust it. And then with all four done, check that it sits straight on the bench as well. So nice and easy to do. We assembled these last time. The silver looks great. The Pro Range Bright Aluminium looks superb on these wheels. And it sits fairly straight as well. No idea where we were showing this bit, but obviously I deemed it good enough to show twice. So here we go. There's another wheel going in place. There we go. It might have fell off actually. That might have been what it was doing. It might have actually fell off. Like I say, this is the second time editing this video, which is both soul destroying and time consuming. I've edited 12 hours of footage twice. Really annoying, but hey, it is what it is. She sits nice on the wheels, doesn't really rock that much. The wheels are all nice and straight as well. The wheel tie combo looks good, but again, with Alpha, if you're listening guys, I really wish you put tire markings on your tyres. Exhausts are really nice. There are resin exhausts in the kit. I forgot these were in there because these are turned metal. So we just glue these in place. Really, really nice slash cut exhausts that look really good. And then just with a micro brush and a bit of the paint we had earlier for the interior, some Vallejo Model Black, I'm just going to paint all the interior of the exhausts. A nice simple tip, again, adds a bit of depth. And then with cotton bud, we can wipe over the outside to remove any excess paint and leave our nice slash cut tips hanging out. Shark fin antenna on the roof, just a tiny dab of Bob Smith's. Got the rear number plate going in place. So again, we did that trick in part 2. We sanded it, got some double-sided tape. I've also glued on the rear carbon spoiler. It literally had a couple of dabs of glue to hold it in place. Nothing special to look at at all. Actually fitted on quite well. And the rear license plate goes in place. So I found with the tape, it's much easier to position stuff. You can always take it back off to reposition should you require as well. BMW emblems, they are water slide metal emblems, so get them in the water for 10 or 15 seconds, let them soak for a minute, get them off, make sure you got them straight in the correct way around, the correct way around. Get them in place and then burnish them down gently with a cotton bud, like so, one on the front, one on the back. Love those license plates, they look great black and white. Just really nice and classy little look on the car, I like that. We've got some M logos on the front and rear and sides as well. So there's 2 tiny ones on the side vents. There's a little one for the front grille and a larger one for the boot lid as well. So just get those in place and hit them with some UMP strong. Make sure they're all straight. Of course, you could put these under the clear if you wanted, but I think they look odd under the clear. So I always prefer to put them on last. And door handles. Fiddly little buggers these sometimes, but these ones fitted on really well. If you're not confident in using CA glue, use a white glue, let it go really tacky, and then glue it in place. For me, I've got Bob Smith's on here, and it goes on really well. Just take your time, make sure you get them in the right way around. Refer to instructions. If you look, it should show you correctly which way they go. There we go. That's those done. And the windscreen. So the glass is always the weak point on these. Well, not the weak point, it's probably the most dreaded point. So I find put a little bit of Tamiya tape on the outside edge of the glass, because it's the protective film this side. Don't touch the glass on the other side. A quick test fit. We'll see that it fits in there pretty well. Once you're happy, take it back out, pop it back on the sheet it came from. And then we're going to grab some Bob Smith's blacktop CA glue with a cocktail stick, and we're just going to apply not a lot. We don't want a lot of it at all. We just want a few dabs, and then we'll spread it apart with the cocktail stick of the Bob Smith's. Now, a lot of people do these different ways. For me, I just put the glue in there. We've already test fitted it. We know it fits perfect. So if it doesn't line up when we put it in, we know something's wrong. I'm just going to apply not too much. I'm not going to be too liberal with it. We're just going to apply enough that will hold it when needed. A little tiny bit in the middle. The Bob Smith does give you a little bit of time to reposition stuff. So if it does go in the wrong place, you can always adjust it. But just be sparing with it. Don't go too mad. You don't want big globules of it everywhere. Once you're happy, grab your windscreen back. I find angling it a little bit, bending it in a touch, getting it in behind the scuttle panel of the bonnet. Line it up at the bottom, line it up at the side, and then line it up at the top. Once you're happy, get yourself a nice fresh cotton bud. The pointy ones work best for me. And just lightly burnish it down all the way around until you go fully burnished down. There we go. Nice and simple. They are a bit of a, what's the word? They're a bit of a pain to do these. Once you've done a couple of these kits, they become pretty easy to do. I would recommend always test fitting, because I've had a couple of these kits where the windows have been too big and they've needed a slight trim, more so on the side windows than the front and back, but always test fit so you know, and you can go with confidence then to glue them in place. You may need to hold for a few seconds and then burnish down other areas. But overall, they're not too bad to fit in place, and leave the protective film on for as long as possible. just because it protects the acetate from any damage. I'm showing this one in real time, just so you can see the full length that I do it in. And then the others, I'll just show them being popped in place. And that way you can see the way I've done it. Hopefully you could take something away from it. The biggest tip is put that Tamiya tape in the middle. It gives you something to hold on to. You don't need to touch the glass and get fingerprints on the inside. And it just helps positioning, in my opinion, because you can see I can fold the edge, pull the middle, and the glass pops in place. Like so. Same on the sides. Just get it all burnished in place. And just work your way around until you're happy it's all glued in. Like I say, it can be quite daunting to do. Once you've done a few, it becomes not too bad at all. It really doesn't. I'll be honest, I'd rather do this than the window wipers. I hate the window wipers. But what is really satisfying here is peeling off this tape. The protective film is very, very satisfying. Now we have to take it off because we've got the window wipers to go on and the mirrors. So it's a case of using your scalpel just to lift the very edge. Once you've got the edge up, get your tweezers and grab it. And then peel back the protective film. Try and touch the glass as little as possible, would be my tip. Mirrors can go in place with a little dab of Bob Smith's. Bit of positive pressure. It's a bit loose, hold it for a second or two more. And there we go, there's one on, and there's t'other. Bayek. T'other one's on. There we go. It's a beautiful looking car, this. I know the big grille is a punch of controversy on them, or controversy, should we say, but it is a pretty car. It looks great in this colour. One thing I didn't like about this kit was the B-pillars. They are made of PE, acid in gloss black. I'm not really keen on this. I don't like the look of it, to be honest, but a little dab of Bob Smith's and a bit of pressure holds them in. Window wipers were made off camera. You've seen me make these dozens of times. We've test fitted them. We're using standard CA glue because nothing else sticks them quick enough. And it's a case of put a little dab on the very end of it. Make sure they're all angled correctly. Test fit them before you commit to glue. Once you're happy you've got it all test fitted, get it glued in place. As you'll see, it takes me several attempts to get it in. I hate these things. I have no problem in making them. They're a piece of cake to make. Gluing them on the car is a nightmare. Final step, I've got our Ultimate Polish System Shine. This is like a spray wax. So I've got a glove on one hand just to make sure I don't get fingerprints all over it. Be careful of wing mirrors and window wipers because it's easy to snag them and pull them off. What we're going to do now, this isn't abrasive at all. It doesn't need rubbing in. It just needs wiping on, being left to haze up and then polished off. And it will leave us with a nice high shine, wax detailed finish. I do like our shine spray. It does work really, really well. But it's a case just to make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies, all the areas. And for me, it's great getting to this stage because it is one of the final stages of the build. And it's very satisfying to get to this stage. It really is. The 2K looks wonderful. Very happy with our 2K. The colour's beautiful. I knew this colour would be my favourite one. I love the Daytona Violet, but I knew the Snapper Rocks would be my favourite colour. So, whilst I've built two of them, and it's a bit of a pain, it's been enjoyable at the same time. Obviously, we've done the Alpha models and the kit box. For me, the kit box wins hands down as a kit. But this kit is pretty decent. As you can see, I've knocked one of those C-pillar trims off, so I have to glue that back on. The Alpha models BMW went together with no issues at all. It's a bit more harder work because there's a lot of carbon on this compared to the F80. So if you don't mind doing the carbon, it's a beautiful kit to build. But the F80 M3 from Kitbox PZY is such an awesome kit. And I actually have another one to build coming up. I've got a Monza, hang on, is it Monza? Yeah, Monza Red one to do. I think it's Monza. I'll tell you now, I've got it right in front of me. Imola is the one I've got. Imola Red is the colour I've got. So you're going to see another one then. Now, question to you, if you got this far, is should a video build it? I don't think it's worth doing because I've literally just video built one. The only difference will be it'll be in red and it'll have black wheels. That's the only difference to the kit. I don't think it warrants another full video build, but I'm going to take picture build updates for it. So I don't think I'll do a video build of it, but I'm kind of looking forward to build another one because it was a great kit, the Kitbox kit. But if you're looking for a later one or a kit with more carbon on, this kit has been very good as well. It really has. And there we go, all polished up. Looks absolutely beautiful. Still got fingerprints on the roof, even though I just polished it all up. Back end looks nice. The lights look good. License plate looks good. Those exhausts look good. I don't mind the big grille at the front at all. Doesn't bother me. Beautiful rims. Nice Brembo calipers on there. Our beautiful interior. And this, for me, is a beautiful flagship for Pro Scale. We've got our primer, our paint, our 2K, our interior, our wheel colour, our brake disc colour, everything on there. It's just come out wonderful. And what a beautiful, beautiful colour. And what a fantastic clear coat. Absolutely knocked out the park with this one. I am very, very happy with it. And it just looks fantastic. It really, really does. So this is Alpha Models G80 M3. Very kindly supplied to me by Alpha Models. Cheers, guys. This was primed in Pro Scale light grey primer. It was painted in Pro Scale BMW Snapper Rocks Blue. We had the kit supply carbon on the roof and boot spoiler, which went down great. We put our own Tamiya carbon decal film on the side skirts, rear diffuser, wing mirrors, and the front winglets, I suppose. Excuse my compressor. We clear coated it in Pro Scale 2K Clear. It was also given a Tamiya black panel line wash as well, which looked absolutely fantastic. Polished back all the 2K with Ultimate Modern Products polish system, which again works absolutely fantastic. The shine here speaks for the Pro Scale 2K and the UMP polish system alone. Interior is done in ochre brown leather with Napa brown inserts and looks great. Wheels are Pro Scale bright aluminium, as is the interior colour. I left that out. Calipers are Pro Scale Brembo red. And yeah, I think it looks great. It's a beautiful colour of a nice BMW M3. I'm a big BMW fan. And the kit went together with no real issues. I can't think. The carbon's quite involved on it. It's a little bit quite hard work in some of the areas. It's a little bit tricky. But overall, really nice kit. It's got everything in there that you need. And it looks wonderful. And here we go. We've got some nice pictures of it I've taken to show on Facebook. And like I say, nice kit. Beautiful looking car. Great colour. A lot of people still comment on these kits being curbside and being expensive. But I think for the quality of what's supplied in the box and the kit subjects, which not a lot of people do touch, I think these kits are well worth their money myself. Would it be nice to get an engine? It would, but I don't think it's viable with the resin. I think it would make the structure too weak. But I think for what you get in the box, which is some of the highest quality resin I've seen, all the multimedia in the kit, a great looking car. The instructions are a bit lacking. It is one of the main downsides to these kits. I think these kits are well worth their money all day long. And there we go. There's my BMW M3 from Alpha Models. Glad this one is done. As I explained in the last video, a bit of a calamity with the computers and to re-edit everything, so it's nice to get this one off the bench. Even though it's been off the bench for days now, it felt like it hasn't because I've had to re-edit videos. But anyway, it's done now, and we can move on to our next projects, which the patrons have been voting on. And I will announce very soon. I've got a bench update to do. We're going to talk about it in that, and I'll discuss future projects coming up as well. So there we go. Great kit from both Alpha and Kitbox. For me, Kitbox gets it for the finer details of the kits. The Kitbox BMW F80 has got everything in there. It's just a phenomenal kit. Nothing wrong with this kit. It's just Alpha Models. If you're watching, you need to up your game a little bit. There's details in those Kitbox BMWs that wipe the floor with this. Just tyre markings, better instructions, higher quality decals, well, more quantity of decals, more importantly. Yes, you need to up your game a little bit, if I'm honest here. But still a wonderful kit, still went together with no real issues, and I look forward to building my next Alpha Models. So there we go, that is it. Another one off the bench. I think that's build number 7 of the year, I think it is, so far. And like I say, the alpha models, I think they're well worth the money. I think they're really good, and they offer some great subject matter as well. So something you can't get from a lot of other manufacturers. So always something there for you to work at, and I think they're a pleasure to build as well, personally. Well, there we go. That's us for today. If you'd like to support the channel, keep the videos going, there's a Patreon link down below. Have a look, click on it. If you want to support, pick the applicable tier. There's loads of perks becoming a patron, early access, exclusive videos, etc., etc. There's loads of perks. And with your support is what allows me to keep making these videos and doing the job I love to do. Yes, I do. I do enjoy doing this. Don't enjoy re-editing everything, but anyway, that's past us now, hopefully. And we can move on to future projects. I've got a review to do of another new model Fatty Hero kit I've got the Cobra. I was given 12 scale, which looks epic. So that will be up soon. I've got a bench update to do, and we're going to start the Hasegawa Testarossa 250 is what we're going to start, which looks great. The TR Testarossa. Yeah, and that's it. So loads of links down below to everything associated with myself, social media, Facebook, the forum, Pro Scale Paint is down there, UMP Retail is down there, as well as links to all the Friday nights, the daily lives, the Off Air Hangouts, email to get in touch with me, my scale mates. There's links to everything I use in all the videos is down there as well. Got any questions, ask them in the comment below. Click the bell notifications to get notified of the latest videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment. Love reading all your comments, and I will catch you all in the next video. Yes, it'll be a review next, I think. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you all later. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.